Told my daughter she'd have to move out if I get divorced because of her lies after her stepdad saw her naked. Now the family is divided. Plus 2 updates. Posted by ThrowRAElectrical-Ba. My husband and I have been married for a little over 5 years now. I will say my daughter, 19F, and he have an okay relationship. Not exactly father and daughter, but more of an advice asked and given kind of relationship. I have never picked up on anything weird from my husband toward my daughter, and my daughter has never said or insinuated anything either. On Thursday, my husband and I were watching a movie in the living room. We paused the movie as he got up to use the bathroom. I heard him knocking on the door twice, 3 knocks each time, a couple of seconds apart. It was loud enough for me to hear from the living room. The next moment, I heard screaming. I rushed to the bathroom and saw my daughter completely naked, covering herself and yelling at my husband to get out. I didn't see everything that happened, but what I saw after hearing the yelling was my husband literally falling over his own feet and struggling to get the bathroom door closed. I asked my husband what happened, and he said he knocked. Nobody answered, so he went in. He said my daughter was naked in front of the mirror, and he immediately tried to leave. After my daughter calmed down, I asked her side of what happened. She said she was changing, and all of a sudden, my husband walked into the bathroom. I asked why she didn't answer him when he knocked. She said he didn't knock. I told her I heard him knock, so I was sure that he did. She then said she didn't hear it because she had her AirPods in, listening to music. We got the situation sorted, and my husband did apologize to her and explained he thought the bathroom was empty and walked in by mistake. She even gave him a hug and apologized for yelling at him. The problem now is that my daughter got family members involved, and they are now calling my husband a creep. I got a call from my sister berating me for still having my husband in the house. I asked what she meant, and it came out that my daughter spun a whole other story. She left out the fact that she was listening to music with her AirPods and told everyone that she answered him, and he still walked into the bathroom to look at her. We have cameras in our hallway, and they prove that my husband did knock. You can see it on the video, but the cameras have no audio. I sat my daughter down and asked her, and she denied saying anything like that or telling anyone. I got mad and asked her, "Then how does your aunt know what happened?" She went silent. She then admitted she talked to her niece about it, and her niece must have told her mother. I asked her why she lied and made my husband look bad when he did nothing wrong. She denied lying again until I told her what my sister had said. She started to cry and said she was sorry. She admitted she was just talking and making up scenarios with her niece. Yesterday, I got calls and texts from family members as the story spread, the wrong story. My husband is being painted as a creep to everyone. I sat my daughter down again and had her read some of the things being said about my husband. I told her she has to fix this because her lying caused this. She refused, saying she didn't spread it intentionally, that she only told her niece and doesn't want to say anything because people will think badly of her. She said, "They know my husband, and this will just blow over." Everything escalated when my husband walked into the living room with his bags packed and said he was going to stay with his parents for a while because he doesn't want to be in this situation anymore, where he is made out to be this kind of person. My daughter broke down, apologized repeatedly, and said she would fix it, but my husband still left. I told her, "If I get divorced because of your lies, you will be moving out of my house." I told her she better fix what she did and tell everyone what really happened because I will not lose a man who loves and cares for me like my husband does over lies. She asked me to help her, and I told her no. She isn't a child anymore, and her lies for attention did this. This is on her. I already tried, and now I'm also being accused of taking my husband's side and not providing a safe space for my daughter. I don't know what to do. My husband has asked for space, my daughter is inconsolable, and I am not in the best state myself. Update 1. Sorry for only updating now, but I'm not in the best of places at the moment, and it has taken me a couple of days to get my thoughts together. I don't know what to do anymore. My husband has asked for a divorce. First, let me answer a couple of questions I saw coming up repeatedly. We have locks on every door in the house. I don't know why my daughter didn't use the lock on the bathroom door. The cameras inside the house aren't pointed at any doors except for the ones at the front door and back door. The other camera is at the end of the hall, and you can see every door in the hallway from that camera. We have a bathroom in our room, but we can't use it at the moment because the water is completely shut off due to renovations. On Friday, my husband came back home and asked to talk. During our talk, he showed me his phone, and some of the things my family members were saying about him were just outright horrible, calling him a pedo, asking him how many times he had taken a peek before. I don't recognize my family anymore. I would understand if he had actually done something wrong, but he hasn't. The hatred they are showing over a stupid mistake tells me they refuse to listen, or they have hated him from the start and are now using this to try to get rid of him. He said he can't ever come back, and this has now started to affect his work life as well. He was called into HR to explain because some of my family members have contacted his office. Luckily, they haven't taken any action and refused to do anything until a case is brought against him. They know my husband very well, and I think they believe him because he is still working. During our talk, he explained that he does love me and is happy I stood up for him, but my daughter's actions have caused too many problems and accusations, leaving him scared. He said he sat at the office and at his parents' home every day, just waiting for the police to show up and arrest him. He said her lies broke him, and he can't see a way to come back from it. I asked him to reconsider and suggested counseling, but he refused, saying everything is too broken to fix. I told him that I would kick out my daughter and explained everything I've done and told her to do. But he said I'm missing the point. His life could have been completely ruined because of a lie. My family will never trust him again and will always harbor hatred or suspicions about him. Especially now, with my daughter wanting to clear things up so long afterward, they will think we forced her to do it, making things worse. He said he will always remain the creep in their eyes. I asked him, what if I cut off my family and we moved away? I showed him my phone and the messages I've sent to every single person so far who refused to listen and told him I've blocked them. He asked, what about your daughter? I told him again I would be kicking her out and that she would stay with my parents. He asked, what if we move away? Would you abandon your daughter then? Because he doesn't want to be near her or alone with her at all. I didn't know what to say. Before I could answer, he said again, it's better for us to get divorced. I will never ask you to abandon your daughter. I will never expect you to do something like that. But I don't want her anywhere near me. If you abandon your daughter, I don't know if I could ever look at you the same afterward, even if it was for my sake. The only solution here is for us to get divorced. My daughter came running down the hallway into the living room, crying. I think she had been listening to our conversation. Before she could say a word, my husband jumped up from the couch, put his hands out, and asked her not to get near him. He said, before you say anything, I will start to record the conversation now, and took out his phone. I think I saw something break in my daughter's eyes at that moment, as the realization of everything hit her all at once. She asked my husband to forgive her and said she never meant for things to get so out of hand. She said she was just making up scenarios with her cousin, and her cousin was the one who ran with it. My husband asked her, why didn't you clear it up immediately then? She said she didn't think it would go this far and thought it would just blow over because everyone knows him. He showed her his phone and asked her to read some of the messages, and my daughter went completely silent. We talked for about 4 hours. At the end, my husband said he would give us 3 months to move out of the house because it is his house. My daughter can keep the car because it was a gift, and he will finish paying this year's tuition, but won't pay anything going forward. He said he hasn't gotten a lawyer yet, but told me to get one. He said he would like to do this without lawyers, but that I could get one if I wanted to. He said he will be fair in the divorce and doesn't harbor anything against me, but he can't stay in the relationship. My daughter just sat on the floor looking like a ghost. I couldn't say anything, Just listen to him talk about divorce and splitting assets like it was nothing. He talked like the last 5 years were nothing, and it was easy to move on. The best way to describe it was like he was returning something to a store. He left the house, and I just sat on the couch. I don't know if I was crying or talking. I can't remember much, as everything felt muffled. Eventually, my daughter started crying, saying, "Sorry, sorry, sorry," over and over while lying on the floor. I don't know how long I sat there, but when I got up, I saw my husband's car still in the driveway. I looked out of the window and saw him full-on crying in the car. Seeing that completely broke me. My daughter and I haven't talked since Friday. Not a word to each other. My family members have shown up at the house to apologize because apparently my daughter has now cleared everything up and shared the video from the camera with them. Every time they show up, I just close the door in their faces. I have been receiving Facebook, Instagram, calls, and texts from them. When I block them, they make new accounts or use different numbers. I don't want to lose my husband. I really don't. He is the first man I've ever met who has treated me with kindness, respect, and love, and now it's all over. I have tried to talk to him and convince him to go to counseling, but every time I try, he responds, I can't take the risk. I have tried to meet him in person, but he says it wouldn't be a good idea. I've gone to his parents' house, but they refused to let me see him. I went to his work, but his boss said he was sent home. I truly don't know how to fix this. Having my daughter move out now won't work because I need to move out as well. I don't want anything from my husband. I just want him. I haven't talked to a lawyer yet, but I don't think I can keep the house. He owned it before we moved in. I really want to fix this. I still want to kick my daughter out of the house, but will he still give me a chance to fix it? Even after what my husband said about not seeing me the same if I abandon my daughter, am I really going to lose a wonderful man? Edit. I forgot how Reddit fixates on one thing. Regarding the house, I have no intention of trying to take his house. It's not my house. I had questions in my previous post about the house, and I think I just answered it. I'm not going to try to take his house. He owns it and has owned it since before we got together. I have no right to the house and will not try to take it. I hope this clears it up. Final update. Hello, everyone. It's been a while, and I see a lot of people asking for updates. I wasn't in the mood to post, and I've been crying myself to sleep every night. I don't know what to do anymore. I've lost my husband, my family, and my daughter. Thank you to everyone, but it's official. I'm getting divorced. I was served with the divorce papers, and my husband wants nothing to do with us anymore. I have moved out of the house and am currently staying with a friend until I can get my life back in order. I have completely cut contact with my family, but they still try to contact me through different numbers or profiles on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know how long I can continue staying with my friend because her life is now being impacted as well, with my family members showing up at her apartment. I would like to find a different place to stay, but my salary won't cover everything I need. My husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, previously covered all our bills, but now I have to do everything myself. My daughter packed her things a little over a week ago and moved away. I don't know where she is, and her friends are refusing to tell me anything. She tried to talk to my ex-husband, but he got a restraining order against her. She violated the order, and he had her arrested. I don't know what was going through her head. I tried to talk to her, but she kept insisting that she would fix everything. However, as I said, my ex got a restraining order, and she was arrested when she kept approaching him. My daughter will have to drop out of college because my ex is now refusing to continue covering anything for her and has retracted his offer to keep paying. He sent me a message saying he's done. He said I didn't respect his wishes, so I had to leave his house immediately. My daughter also went against his wishes, so he's cutting everything off from her as well. She is on her own. He said if I or my daughter continues to harass him, he will open a case against her for defamation. I don't have enough money for myself right now, with my job and all the bills, so I definitely can't assist her. She packed up in the middle of the night and left after I told her she would have to drop out of college and get a job. My ex-husband became completely emotionless and cold over the last couple of weeks and refuses to talk to me about anything except matters related to the divorce. He said he would have been supportive and helped me get on my feet, but it's clear to him now that we only wanted to use him and his generosity, so he's done. He originally wanted to void the prenup we have, but has now decided to follow it to the letter, which means I will basically get nothing in the divorce. I don't want anything. I just want him back. Even after everything that's happened, I still want my husband, the kind, caring, sweet man I had. I want him back. I told him my daughter moved out of the house and asked again if we could try to fix our marriage, but he didn't even respond. The last message I got from him was to ask if I had signed the divorce papers or gotten a lawyer to review them. He said he wants to be done with this and move on because it's clear to him that no one in my family, including me, respected him at all. In that message, he also told me to get my family to back off because they are still harassing him with messages, calls, and emails, and he is sick of it. He said if they don't stop, he will report them as well. To the people who keep asking why I didn't do anything when the lies started to spread, I did everything I could. I was accused of protecting my creep of a husband. The video didn't help because I sent it to some of my relatives, but it has no audio. It only shows him knocking and then walking in. My daughter claimed she answered him, and he still went in. That's it for today's story. Follow and subscribe for more. Have a great day.